My guest with me on the Miller Lite Jersey Central Newsmaker Hotline. We'll spend some time. We'll talk throughout the course of the year. His organization, Alzheimer's New Jersey, does some great events. They do a bunch of walks over the summer and fall as well, which is also real nice. But he's back with me this morning. I'm talking about Ken Zaentz, President and CEO of Alzheimer's New Jersey. Talk about some rather surprising numbers as a result of a recent Fairleigh Dickinson University Public Mind poll with regards to Alzheimer's diagnoses here in New Jersey. Ken, good morning. It's Bert Barron. How are you?
Good morning, Bert. How are you? Happy holidays.
I'm good. Good to you, and same to you as well. Thank you. A quick thank you to your office, Ken. I got a nice thank you letter for coming out to support the walk that was held at Princeton over the summer, and thank you very much for acknowledging that. I don't do it for me. I do it for the cause, and you and your organization do such amazing work, but thank you for the nice recognition there, and I can't wait for 2019. We're working on the dates for 2019 already, Ken?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And it's always great to have you, so believe me, the thank you comes from all of us.
Well, thank you.
We know you're doing it for all the right reasons, and we appreciate it all the same.
You'll see me out again in 2019. I can promise you that, Ken. But talk about this study that came here. I was reading the release from your office here, and people that go to a doctor to seek diagnosis for Alzheimer's, what they're being met with is kind of surprising. You want to talk about what people are hearing when they go to a doctor?
Well, I think there's two parts to the data. I mean, one is that people in New Jersey, the respondents to the survey, a vast majority of those said that when they did suspect that their loved ones had Alzheimer's disease, that they did seek a medical diagnosis, which is great. I mean, I think that really speaks to, a lot of the work that's been done in our state to really have caregivers understand that, and people with the disease understand that even though Alzheimer's is not curable, we don't have a way to really slow it down, that doesn't mean that getting a diagnosis isn't important. And, getting that diagnosis really enables caregivers and people with the disease to understand what it is that they are dealing with. We know that there are certain forms of dementia that are not Alzheimer's and are curable, reversible. For example, medication interaction can cause dementia. Infection, like urinary tract infection, can cause dementia. So it's really important that that people get a diagnosis, and we certainly saw that that's happening in our state through the results of this survey. The second part of it is, which is what you were talking about just a few moments ago, is that while people are getting the diagnosis, what they don't seem to be getting is next steps in terms of programs and services. So, I believe only 54% of those who said that they got a diagnosis then said that their physician offered some access or some recommendations to support services. So that's something that we clearly need to work on. And even if it was as simple as a physician saying to a family, well, why don't you call Alzheimer's New Jersey? Here's their helpline number, and they can take you in another direction. So we're certainly not saying that, that physicians need to know, all of the services that are available in their communities. That's clearly, we're not saying that. But just like, here's a next step, and I think those important next steps are, as I said, here's a phone number that you can call for support and information. In addition to Alzheimer's New Jersey, it could be, a local county office on aging. If the person happens to be a veteran, the Veterans Administration certainly offers services. Calling or getting in touch with through the website the National Academy of Elder Law Attorneys. So just sort of laying out, okay, you should really think about your finances. You should think about legal issues. You should certainly think about getting support for yourself as a caregiver. So those are the kinds of things that we were talking about.
Even if it's just one thing, Ken, one is better than zero
when
it comes to speaking with someone. Selfishly, I wish everyone would be directed to Alzheimer's New Jersey and your group for the amazing work that's done. But they should just say something. Here's the next step that you need to take. I mean, now we're getting doctors now to get more involved and talking to patients about the potential of getting addicted to opioids before they prescribe them. Maybe now this is something that we need to mandate doctors across the state to do. Take the next step. Make a referral.
Well, and that's true, but I think for us as an organization, it clearly points to the fact that we need to do more education, and more connection with physicians as well. So it's so there's two sides to this issue, I think.
Yeah, and just giving people some information, Ken, when it comes to an actual diagnosis, this isn't a one trip to a doctor and they make that determination. There are several tests and several things that need to go in to make an official determination, right? That's
correct. Unfortunately, there is no single way to diagnose Alzheimer's. There's no, we'll just do this blood test, and if it shows us X, then, we know you have Alzheimer's, or we'll just do this scan, and if it shows us this, then we know you have Alzheimer's. It's a much more comprehensive and complicated process, which is a combination of patient history, conversation with the caregiver, blood work, scans, and you have to sort of put everything together to get that diagnosis. So it does take some time.
Yeah, and as we wrap up, Ken, with the holidays here, families are going to be gathering, and like it or not, everybody in your family is a year older. So when families are assembling, whether it's parents, grandparents, there's some signs, Ken, that you want people to kind of keep an eye out for if we're celebrating the holidays and getting together for events and get-togethers and family dinners and things. A couple things that people should look for as our parents and grandparents continue to age.
Well, I think the important thing for caregivers to remember is, and this is hard, but I think if you put yourself in the mindset that things probably can't be the same as they always were, and so you have to really take your cues from the person with the disease and do things that are best for them, and that may mean adjusting schedules, maybe not having as many people at your house, trying to, if on our website there's a number of tips for easing caregiver stress during the holidays, because we know the holidays can be extremely stressful under any condition, but when you're also a caregiver for the person with Alzheimer's disease, understand that all the hustle and bustle can be extremely overwhelming for the person with the disease and in turn for the caregiver.
Yeah, so some things to just keep in mind. And you can check out the website, by the way. It's alznj.org, or call the toll-free number, which is 888-280-6055. And as always, great information from my guest this morning. Ken Zaentz, President and CEO, Alzheimer's New Jersey. Thank you for the good info today, Ken. I appreciate that. All the best to you and everyone there in the new year, and I'm sure we'll talk again in 2019. And as always, great to have your input on the show here, okay?
Oh, thanks, Bert. Thanks for having me on. And as I said, happy holidays to you and your listeners as well.